Hey y'all, and welcome to my channel. In today's video we have a really fun project. We had been talking about purchasing an IKEA bed, and you all would know this if you watched my master bedroom clean with me video. I went through everything we wanted to do. Well, take all of what I said and throw it out that window back there because it is entirely changed. We have decided to build our own bed.
We're about to show you what kind of mess we have created.
Yeah, because it is now sprinkling outside. It's just one cell moving through, but we're gonna have to do the bulk of this in the house. Now, I will say, if you are like us and you don't have a truck, we used to have a truck, but the transmission went out, so we no longer have a truck. We have 2 cars. We fit all of this lumber in a Chrysler 200. What we did was I made out what all the material list was, and we went to Lowe's and we had them cut that there. If you get things cut at Lowe's, they only charge you 25 cents, I think, per board.
So just a reminder, if you're going to be doing any of this and you want to try any of this at home, be prepared to wear your safety glasses. You know, be safe as possible. That way you don't end up with any missing appendages.
Yeah, and we shouldn't have a lot of cutting to do, but you all can do this on a budget. We got all of this for cheaper than what the IKEA storage bed would have cost, and that's pressboard. When we're done with this, how much do you think this bed's gonna weigh?
Quite a bit, but it's permanent.
Anyway, I could ramble for hours, we all know this, so let's go ahead and get into what we bought. So we're going to go through the tools and things that you're going to need to build this bed at home. We're going to put precise measurements in the description box below so you can have Lowe's cut it perfectly for you. So John, take it away, show them what they're gonna need.
Alright, so these are just some of the bare necessities. Impacts are great. If you've never worked with one of these, they are very finicky on the trigger, so you have to be gentle with these things because they will drive it plumb through the wood. You need a power drill just to pre-drill your holes, and that'll kind of preset the screws. I like to have some form of square. I like to use this just for my pencil marks when I make my cuts, and also I use this as a saw guide. Can't forget the old tape measure. Got to have a tape measure and a pencil. And one thing to do after you have the bed frame built is to measure diagonally so you can actually check to make sure you're square. We have a propane torch. This is the trigger for it. Initiate on the red button, and you can kind of use this wand. It keeps you from having to light it every time. And then we have just a Harbor Freight orbital sander. This turns, and it also has a vacuum built in, I believe, and it sucks it all into this little bitty bag. If you can see it there, if it'll focus.
Also, you may notice we have a chair, and he is using the saw on the door. We 100% do not recommend you do this. Don't do it. Don't try it. He's been in construction for almost 4 years now, and I'm still not that thrilled about this. So we're doing what we've got to do because it's raining. Again, we're giving you exact measurements. Get it cut at Lowe's. Do not do this.
What the dimensions came out to be. As you can tell, there's a little bit of clearance on each side. This allows you to have room to get your fingers underneath the sides and to be able to tuck your sheets and things like that. So I'm very satisfied with this dimension. There's about 1/2 inch to 5/8 of clearance on all sides all the way around. So this is perfect.
You can't tell, the weather has cleared up enough for us to move everything outside so that we're not cutting it in here. It'll go much quicker. Where you want it, Hoss? Now let's go outside. this is what we're doing. I'm going through and deciding what I want out because this is our headboard, and he's having me mark the order I want them to go on the back of them. Where do you think this should go, like? Right at the top?
I think that should
That would be
like
the most visible.
in the middle of the top, just because you don't want like all that character to be pushed to the top. I would say kind of stagger the character. Like this would be like in this ballpark.
So switch me this one and this one.
This one and this one?
Yeah.
Or this one?
That one. Okay. And I want this one on the bottom.
Which one?
This one down there.
Okay, so this is the top or this is the top?
Hey, this was the top of the bed.
Okay.
Did you think it was going this way?
Yes. I'm glad we clarified that.
Well, that actually looks good if we go this way.
Okay, so top, bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Here John is just using the sander with the 220 grit paper to smooth this out, make it a little bit softer and not have any harsh edges. Now it's time for what I considered the fun part because I got to torch all of these pieces. At this point, I was torching the bottom frame of the bed. I had already completed all of the headboard, and it took me a little bit to figure out exactly how I wanted to get this torched. I started out just doing the character pieces, so just the knots and a little bit of edging, and by the time I got through a couple of them, I decided, you know, I want a little bit more to it, so I ended up burning primarily most of the board, and that's just the look that I liked and I went for. This is all preference to you. If you do this, just use one piece, see how you like it. By this point, it was going great the way that I had it, and I enjoyed the way that it looked, so that's just what I kept going for. So when you do yours, just do a little tester piece, maybe get a little piece of blocking or something like that, and really see what you like. I found that not having the fuel all the way open really helped, because once you turned that knob all the way open and put that flame to it, it would burn it a lot quicker. So I usually put it about halfway and then had the flame, that way it would give it that perfect burnt look. And honestly, that took trial and error. I did scorch a couple things before I figured that out. I don't show it in this clip, but I do want to make a mention of it, because if I don't show it and you don't see it, you might not know to do it. For the baseboard pieces that make up your frame, whatever side is top and visible, you want to burn the top as well. That goes for the headboard too. So the very top piece of your headboard needs the very top of it burnt as well. Also, don't forget to get your edges. You can see some of the pieces that are laying down behind this board that I'm burning, that John is putting the clear coat on. See how I've got those edges? You want to make sure you burn those as well, because they are exposed. Now for the back piece of our baseboard, I just burnt the edges. I didn't do anything else to it, and we didn't put any clear coat on it because it wasn't visible, and I didn't think that it needed it. I wish this was showing you how glossy this is. I wonder if I can. So I went from just doing little tiny spots to burning the whole piece of wood.
Alright, so I just have gloss clear coat and a foam brush here. I'm just going to lay it really thick just for a base coat. Kind of drag it across. Just popping this color out. Don't forget the ends, because people will see the ends.
Yeah, we burned those too.
And on your top piece of your bed, don't forget to burn the top.
Which was this piece.
Take all them character pieces and just fill them full. Let that gloss sit in there. Okay, all right, one final drag.
This is getting 2 coats, by the way.
This just gets all the bubbles out of it. Okay.
It was now pitch black outside, so we brought these in here and laid them on blocking so that they could dry.
So this is the back of my headboard, and I'm doing this backwards so we can hide the screws, which was a lovely idea that Chelsea came up with. So basically I went 4 inches in to get to the side of my 2x4. I did the same on both sides. I found my center, and then I went out about 8.5 inches to the side of my 2x4s. So the way I have these pre-drilled, with wood, there's a grain pattern that you can see lines in the wood. So I drilled offset, zigzag. The reason why I did that is it keeps the wood, if I drilled them all in a line, more than likely this 2x4 would split whenever that head tried to come down in this hole. So I put a zigzag a couple inches apart. It doesn't have to be nothing precise, because this is all going to be on the back. Nobody could see this. But this is a finished product of what it's supposed to look like. With these screws, it's really important. These are actually a decking screw. They bite really well. So you can absolutely just blow this thing through the wood. So you just want to sink it just till the head is flush. So you can see where this actually started to split a little bit, and I pre-drilled it. So you could imagine, you get down here near the end, these wood grains are really soft. It'll blow the whole piece of wood out.
We're doing this from this side so that you don't see any screw holes from the front. Some people would use pocket hole screws, and that would just sandwich everything together, but we don't have a Craig jig, and I mean, well, that's about it. I mean, we probably would have done it, I guess, if we had one, but this works too. Dugga. And that's why I'm on this side, to push this down and make sure everything's flush. Normally we would have pre-drilled this, but it's not necessary right now, I don't guess, because he's not doing it.
We'll take one.
Hey Pinky, how about you go lay down on the couch? How many are you putting in each?
I'm gonna do 2.
Okay.
Which I really don't have to. These are strong screws.
You have not seen this side, have you?
No. Dude. That is unbelievable.
I have really good ideas sometimes. You ready to reveal it to them? All right, guys. This is our headboard. Top to bottom. That is all hand done. I'm super excited. That's not what we thought we were going to do at all. It's just how it ended up turning out and the direction we went. If you wanted to buy this headboard somewhere, gosh, I don't even know what that would cost you. Definitely more than, I think, what, $150 we spent?
Definitely.
And it's a beast. I mean, those are 2x6s, a 2x10 on the bottom, and 4x4s, or 2x4s on the back. So this sucker is going to be massive.
And it's free, it stands by itself.
Yeah, it stands up by itself. And we used screws. We screwed it in from the back because I didn't want any screw holes showing in the front. Let's put the rest of this thing together. Here, John is just pre-drilling for the screws for the base plates. And I will be helping him just on this side, make sure everything's flush and level. And we did that to each corner.
Alright, so what I done here was I measured up 5 inches. That's where the top of my 2x4 is going to sit. And I did the same on the other end. And these 2x4s are about 6 foot long. And we're going to sandwich another 2x4 on top of that, and that's going to be our slats, which we'll show you. Alright, so this is one of the old tricks of the trade. I started my screw because what I'm trying to do here is get my 2x4 marked on my lines. When I get this all adjusted and lined up, I don't have to reach for a screw and then try to start a screw on this board and lose my place. So what I did was I drove it halfway to where the screw is not penetrating on the bottom. It's almost getting ready to penetrate, not there. And I got one on both sides so my marks will be correct. When you're trying to check something for square, for example, if my square, the legs were kicked, and I tried to fasten these down, and I locked it out of square, my bed may not fit. So what I did was I found a common ground to measure outside to outside, and if those numbers are identical, then that means that as long as all the measurements, this is the same length as the back, and the sides are the exact same length, then that means that it should be perfectly square.
Okay, y'all, that's going to do it for this video. Again, we will have all exact measurements linked in the description box below, as well as a cost breakdown. If you all enjoy videos like these, please give this one a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave. I hope you all are having a genuinely blessed evening, morning, noon, night, no matter what time it is, wherever you are when you're watching this. I genuinely hope it's blessed, and we'll see you guys in our next one. Bye, guys.